Thanks, Rich. Greg, let's do a quick rundown of some of Gamespot's Best of E3 2004. Let's start from the top. You said the game of the show was Splinter Cell 3. You talk about kind of the co-op gameplay, but as I understand it, Sam Fisher gets a lot more raw this time around.
One of the things that made me really excited for that game is it seems like for the past 2 Splinter Cell games, Ubisoft was really trying to get the T rating, and you can shoot people and stuff, but they just kind of drop dead, and it's all very kind of sanitized. But now it's Sam Fisher being a lot kind of nastier and holding people at knife point and kind of assassinating them very quietly but very brutally, and doing things that are just a lot more brutal, but things that you might expect for someone who's basically a government assassin to do. Why would this guy be playing it real straight when he's supposed to just get the job done by any means necessary? So it seems like that whole by any means necessary aspect is what's really coming out in Splinter Cell 3.
How about some of the platform awards? I mean, why don't we talk about Resident Evil 4 for a second? It seems like they're really going in a different direction with the game. I mean, there's no zombies, it's kind of more action-oriented. What's the big deal there?
Resident Evil 4 is also one of the more impressive games of the show, and I think, like, along with Splinter Cell 3, it also represents what we think of as like a really exciting sequel. They're not just playing it safe. They're going in new directions. It just looks really, really cool and has lots of like context-sensitive actions that you can do. And it seems like Capcom is kind of anxious about how people would receive it, but the game definitely retains all the Resident Evil creepiness, but just looks to be a lot more kind of exciting. So for people who've kind of given up on that series, I think this game might very well pull them back in.
Yeah, it seems like our PS2 game of the show has a lot of people excited. I've heard a lot of people talking about God of War, and that game's definitely kind of brutal in its own way.
Yeah, we seem to have this recurring theme going here about how our picks for game of the show all are kind of violent and visceral, and you know what? That's fine by me. I like games like that, and God of War just had this really insane, super intense looking combat. It just looks really impressive in motion, kind of in the same way when people saw Prince of Persia for the first time. They were like, wow, that animation just looks way better than most other games. It had that effect on people.
And then over on the Xbox, we have Mech Assault 2. I know you and I spent some time towards the end of the show talking about how awesome the explosions and stuff in Mech Assault 2 are. That game really changes a lot of stuff. What do you think about it?
A few people in our community seem to think that we picked Mech Assault 2 just to be contrary, because isn't Halo 2 the obvious choice on the Xbox? And it's like, not really. I mean, they showed single flag capture the flag for Halo 2, and that's stuff that we've all seen before. We're playing it right now in Unreal Tournament 2004. Meanwhile, Mech Assault 2 has like mech jacking, and you can be running around on foot and seeing like this huge mech stomping around, and sure enough, it could just stomp you dead. And basically it looks like it's combining like the Battlefield 1942 style of gameplay with Mech Assault, and it's really incredible kind of production value. So yeah, I agree. That game just looked awesome.
They took everything up to just another level graphically, and gameplay-wise definitely. But it's like the way the buildings fall apart. It's like a few blasts, you'll see glass blasting out of the windows. The shell of the building kind of falls off, left with this kind of a smoldering foundation, and then that crumbles too. Just all the explosions and stuff really stood out, and yeah, I can't say enough about mech jacking. It's really satisfying.
It's like in a multiplayer shooter, you just want teamwork and cooperation, I suppose, but you also just want kind of out-and-out destruction, and Mech Assault 2 definitely delivered that better than most any other multiplayer shooter on display at the show.
And when you talk about out-and-out destruction, I mean, we can get into some of our other picks and some of the genres. For best driving, we picked Burnout 3. Utter chaos on wheels.
Yeah, Burnout 3 was quite possibly the easiest choice that we had to make. That's definitely kind of an inter-office favorite at the moment, just because that game, yeah, the designers of that game just seem to get it. It's like it's this game that's not about playing by the rules and kind of racing a good, clean race. It's just about doing all the things that you've ever thought about maybe considering doing while you were driving, but that you would never ever do because you would die.
They've really gone completely over the top with a lot of the particle effects. You see just like sparks flying off the cars when you're trading paint with other cars and stuff. And yeah, it's like, for as cool as the crashes looked in Burnout 2, just Burnout 3 just looks so much more insane.
And it's going to have the online multiplayer stuff. So when you're going to have like, what is it, 6 people all crashing into traffic at the same time, that's going to be some interesting stuff.
Setting up multiplayer crash mode and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's so much to that game. It's probably going to be pretty great. All right, thanks a lot, Greg.
Thanks.
If you'd like to learn more about GameSpot's Best of E3 2004, run a GameSpot search for E3 2004 or click on all features on the left-hand side of any GameSpot page.
Nerds everywhere. I gotta tell you, it's nice to be back here in my ivory tower. My trip to E3 was almost too much nerd for even my future technology. This one time I was liar. Who said that? I did geek. It is I, QuizDroid 2000, the real attendee of E3. What are you doing here? When you backed out at the last moment, GameSpot called upon me to save the day. They also promised me a role on the show. Here is your quiz, geeks. Question number 1. What is the name of the miniature Mario toys in Mario vs. Donkey Kong? Shut it. Question number 2. Which of the following are not in Thief Deadly Shadows? The Order of the Hammer, the Pagans, the Keepers, the Stonecutters? No. Question number 3. Who would win in a River City ransom brawl, Alex or Ryan? Fear these eyes. Question number 4. Which Wayans brother is a huge GameSpot fan? Don't make me go Cyclops on you. Question number 5. Which game won GameSpot's Best of Show award for E3 2004? We seem to be at a standoff. I'll be in my trailer, throwing packages together for these 3 nerds. Wait, there's something you must know. I'm your brother. What? You are welcome.
The robot's got questions and you've got answers. Send them to triviarobot@gamespot.com along with a mailing address, and we'll pick some of you to win some great GameSpot gear left over from E3. Hey, you guys like t-shirts, right? Nothing says, I don't want to do laundry yet like a GameSpot t-shirt. That reminds me, I forgot to add the fabric softener. Ah well, show's over, folks. I got to split. So until next time, check out GameSpot for the latest news, reviews, previews, cheats, downloads, and movies from the dirty hamper of gaming. Until next time, I'm Jeff Gersman, and I'm sending this one out to every QA department across the land. You're the last line of defense between the public and the bugs that can ruin our favorite games. Keep fighting the good fight.